Order you got that.
Then cook something for me.
Order you let them.
Then bust something for me.
All you got in them
The
lungs.
block is hot.
All you playing with that ball.
The block is hot. 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 The block is hot.
People coming to the block is hot. Push it over to the block is hot. Look it up, 'cause the block is hot. Say the boy, just look it up, 'cause the block is hot. People coming to the block is hot. Push it over to the
Block is hot, Watchtower. We got some good news today. Yes, the block is on fire. Woo! I'm Jehovah, honey. I can't believe it, honey, boo. Me neither. Welcome to today's live stream. It's going to be a short one, I promise. Can't do another 20-hour session. You know, I could if I would. No, wait a minute. I would if I could. Yeah. But thank you for tuning in, everybody. Let me see how many we've got. 4 viewers watching right now. We're going to give it a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, you know, I've just been reeling. I don't know. It's been almost a week now. I haven't had a lot of sleep, and I am not going to get any sleep tonight because we've just found out something really, really great. Leah Remini. Yes, I learned how to say her last name. I had a lot of people get on my case about not pronouncing her last name correctly. And I still want to say Remini, but I'm going to work very hard not to. I know how to pronounce her last name. Okay, it's not that I don't. It's just I don't know. Look, my language, my first language is not English. Okay, I'm an immigrant. All right, so I have an excuse not to pronounce her name right. Okay, all right. So please. I'm telling you, I've had some people really take me to task over making sure to pronounce Leah Remini's name correctly. And I do appreciate that because my closest friends and best friends did not tell me how to pronounce her name correctly, you know? It's like walking around with your fly unzipped. You don't know your fly's unzipped. And you're out here, you know, doing what you're doing, and your best friends are seeing your fly not zipped, and a stranger says, "Excuse me, you need to zip your fly." And you're like, "Oh, shoot, what? Oh, thanks." And then you look at your best friend and you're like, "Fool, why didn't you tell me my fly was unzipped?" You know, I mean, seriously. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, we have 6 viewers right now. There's some really great news, everyone. Now, you know, we've been talking about Twitter. I've been showing you some things on Twitter, and I've been showing you how to do a few things on Twitter. But if you still haven't got on Twitter, you might want to think about it again today, because Leah Remini herself has stated that because of all of the Twitter messages, the Instagram messages, I haven't even gotten on Instagram yet, and the Facebook messages about the Jehovah's Witnesses and their child abuse, this is why A&E did that special with Elizabeth Vargas and Cults and Extreme Belief, and this is why they are continuing to do more. They realize that there is so much more to be talked about and shown. So all of you who have been on Twitter and tweeting to Leah Remini and A&E and, you know, so many other places, because we don't just stop with A&E. I mean, I personally have been tweeting to FBI. Shoot, I tweet to Donald Trump. I don't care. I know he probably doesn't care, but I'm still going to tweet to him. I'm still going to let Donald Trump know about the Jehovah's Witnesses because it feels darn good. When you have been told to shut up, when you have been blamed for your own abuse, and decades of pain that you've gone through. You know, if you are a survivor or a victim of abuse of any kind, especially childhood sexual abuse, no matter what you do, you're probably going to take some kind of scar to the grave. You know, you can get better. You can work at it, and it takes a lot out of you. But there's a component of it that never You just don't ever, you can't go back to before, before you were abused. You just can't. It's something is taken from you that you can never ever get back. You can turn it around and transmute it and work through it through therapy and different things in life. Yes, but you are changed forever. And when you are blamed, when you are shunned for being molested, because that's what Jehovah's Witnesses do. When a kid comes out and begs for help and tells the adults in the congregation, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be shunned, or what they call marking. Other kids are not allowed to play with you because now you're considered unclean, and they want to keep their kids clean. If you want to keep your kids clean, wouldn't you just send them to the shower or to a bath? But no, this little kid, because he or she's getting molested, they are made to shut up. They are threatened with being destroyed by Jehovah. They are told they're bringing reproach on the organization and it's their fault, and so forth and so on. So it feels so good when you can get on Twitter and you can tweet to somebody like Leah Remini and A&E and see your tweets, not your specific tweets, but what you've tweeted about on the TV screen. That is some real exciting stuff, isn't it? I mean, maybe it's just me. I haven't seen the chat yet, but the block is hot, folks. The block is hot. Watchtower is sitting here and listening to our YouTubes. They're seeing our tweets, and there's nothing they can do about it. We are the Judicial Committee now, and there is all kinds of people on it, not just men. There's women on it. Hell, for all you bashers that have bashed me for being transgender, let me tell you something. It wouldn't matter if I'm a man, woman, cat, dog, turkey, chicken, or space alien. I'm still going to do this right here. Okay? So you can call me whatever the hell you want to call me. It does not matter. And even if I'm dead from beyond the grave, my spirit will speak to people's minds and continue this on forever. You understand? Until we get our justice, until the world sees you for what you are. And this is where we at right now. This is where we are all at, collectively and individually. All right. So I want to show you about I'm going to show you a couple of things today. Like I said, it's probably going to be just an hour or two because I'm pressed for time. I've got a lot of things going on, but there are some pieces, and let me write down before I forget, because I do want to show you a couple of very important pieces. Let me write this down. I got to go into the live stream folder because there's an image I want to show you there. Then I want to take you on Twitter and show you a couple of activists' profiles that you could be interested in following, or at least retweeting or looking at what they do to learn a little bit about Twitter if you're not very savvy with Twitter. I don't know anything about Instagram yet. I think I tried to register last year a little bit and fool with it. So I'm going to brush up on Instagram this week and next week so I can give you some tips and show you how to do it. If you're not familiar with it, I'm going to try and give you a nutshell, a very quick and easy nutshell of the gist of Twitter, so you can take that and you can skip over having to read all kinds of books or having to, have a long learning curve, and you can just basically get in there and get started right away in an easy and simple way. So I'm going to work that up. But what else? I wanted to show you about Twitter. Okay, the guy's name is XJW's Unchained. Okay, and he's a real cool guy. But right now, I want to show you JW Suicide's video, because she is also somebody that, if you haven't followed her, check her out on Twitter and on YouTube. She comes up with breaking news. I keep an eye. She's one of the people that I keep an eye on. I call her a type of bloodhound because she's very good at finding relevant and exciting news pieces, and she is responsible for this live stream right here. So let me check in the live chat and say hi to everybody. We've got 11 viewers, and then we're going to head on over to JW Suicide's channel. All right, so let's take a look. Where is the chat? Here we go. Chat and say hi to everybody. We've got 11. All right, we've got Mel S, Elizabeth Strickland, Aposta Babe, Linda James, Something Found, Kim Jackson. How you doing, Kim? It's been a while. We have Dawn Elizabeth. All right. A house full of ladies? Okay, welcome, ladies. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see what Dawn Elizabeth says. Hi, Bob Boo. What's up? Uh, Linda James says she's waving. Something found. Hey, everyone. All right, and there's clapping. And let me see who. Kim Jackson is up in here. Let me see. Mel S is up in here saying wonderful, good news. Hello, everyone. Twitter got depressing today just because of sharing part of my story. Yes, but you know what? We need to hear your story. We need to hear your experience. And I don't care. Elizabeth Strickland is a perfect example. You know, she is a survivor and a victim of abuse within her family, not just Jehovah's Witness, but her own brother. And he went on to molest other kids too. And even though I think it was the statute of limitations, right, Elizabeth, that they couldn't go after him because of what he did to you, but they went after him because of what he did to other people. And he is right now in the process of being tried and convicted. So, and you know, this was 30 years of pain that she went through. And because of the activism that we've gone through here, you know, because of each and every one of us, it made her make a decision to pursue perhaps justice, not for herself, but for other victims. She tracked down other victims, and she gathered and researched and brought this to the DA, to the police there. So, you know, check that out. He is in Sandy, Oregon. I've shown some of the news clips on some other live streams, and I may go to it later today. But, you know, that's another, you know, we need to know everyone's experience. You know, I don't care if you think, well, mine is just like everybody's else. You know, I was abused. The elders covered it up, 2-witness rule, etc., etc. You still need to be out here. Your voice still is valid and it's still needed. Now, on the flip side, I don't want to make anyone feel like they have to. You know, these are very sensitive things. They rip open wounds. Okay, this is not for the faint-hearted. It hurts me every time I get up on a live stream to talk about this, you know, and I have to work through it. Now, I've got systems in place. You know, I've done this for a long time. It's kind of like going to the gym and working out. You know, you're going to feel pain, but it's not going to be overwhelming as if you've never worked out or you've been out of shape for a while and you go to the gym and you've got this soreness that's killing you, you know. So it's kind of you get used to it and you learn to handle it, but it still takes a lot out of us, doesn't it? All right, Something Found says, my heart goes out to all of us who have suffered. Thank you for your strength in speaking out. Elizabeth Strickland says, and he is asking for a plea too. Of course, because he realizes there's too much evidence now. And, you know, Clackamas County, that's where Elizabeth Strickland's brother, Jeshua Jeremiah Drake, is being tried for sexual abuse, childhood sexual abuse, all right, within the Jehovah's Witnesses. And we are putting the pressure on Clackamas County, the sheriff and the police there through Twitter, to make sure to not treat this as just another sexual abuse case, but to treat this as something that is hooked to an entire pedophile database and a possible international Jehovah's Witness missionary child trafficking and porn ring, okay? And, you know, we've already featured all that information. So if this is news to you, Google that sometime. Don't have a lot of time to go through all those pieces, but it's out there. Police in New York have long suspected that there is a porn ring within the Jehovah's Witnesses. They have a 2-witness rule protecting pedophiles, demanding victims to show and produce not just 2 adult eyewitnesses, but 2 adult Jehovah's Witness eyewitnesses who are in good standing. You know, these are very specific requirements, and you will never, ever have that happen. I mean, the chances of that happening are virtually zero, okay? And that's for that has to be in place for them to even acknowledge it, all right? That has to be in place for them to even acknowledge it. They don't go to the police, very rarely. 9 times out of 10, they don't, and they don't want the victims or the victims' families to go either. All right. All right. So we have Carla up in here. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I do know about shunning, though. It sticks. Apostle Babe Linda James says, did Denise send you the new about Joshua today? Yes, she did. She did. She did send me that that thing, that news report. And Elizabeth Strickland, I will say the XJW community has really been circulating that news report about your brother being arrested. I love it because they start off saying Jehovah's Witness has been arrested for sexual abuse. You know, that spanned decades since the 90s. I really like that. I really love that they have put that and not just, you know, so-and-so for sexual abuse, and then there's no mention that he's a Jehovah's Witness, or it's like very tiny down in the bottom. Oh, by the way, the guy was a Jehovah's Witness, like they did with the serial killer with Kwahura Govan. You know, a lot of the news reports don't show he was a Jehovah's Witness, and then there's a short clip where they just briefly, like for 30 seconds, mention he was a Jehovah's Witness, and then that's it. And it's very hard to circulate that around because people are like, well, where does it say it's a Jehovah's Witness? So you have to let them know at this particular minute on this video, they say it. And I really enjoy the fact that whoever wrote that up for Sandy, Oregon there with Jeshua Drake being arrested, that the whole headline immediately says Jehovah's Witness. Okay. So that was a good one. Robbie Jones in the live chat says, Jehovah Witness, false religion, father of lies, family destroyers, murderers because of blood policy. When people commit suicide because of their shunning, to me, they took that life as well. Yes, Robbie Jones. And raise your hand if you've been suicidal within the Jehovah's Witnesses at one point or another in your life. Because I'm raising my hand right now. My entire time with the Jehovah's Witnesses was suicidal. I think starting from age 9 or 10, I was suicidal the whole freaking time. And I tell you something, speaking of suicide, let's go to JW Suicide's channel. I'm going to pull her up right now, and we'll do a screen share here. We have 17 viewers. Thank you for tuning in now and in the future. We are talking about Leah Remini. And Leah Remini wants to make more Jehovah's Witness shows. Not only that, everybody, but Leah Remini herself now has stated, because of all these tweets she's been getting on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook, it was hard to ignore. We are hard to ignore. You know, I tell you, there's so many things going on in the XJW community, but when you know you're sitting here behind your computer screen or behind your cell phone, and the power in the tips of your finger to reach somebody like Leah Remini and A&E TV network, and if if we're doing that with them, you can do it with anyone. The FBI is going to be reading your tweets. They might not answer, and you might think, well, there's millions of tweets going to them probably. They're still being read. Donald Trump is reading your tweets. He is going to read these. He might not ever answer. He might not give a damn, but his eyes will see your message. Isn't that amazing, everybody? All right, let me hook up the speakers. I've been just reeling from this almost for a whole week straight, so I don't think I could ever get over this, you know, and I am going to buy a bottle of champagne. I'm going to buy a bottle of champagne tonight, and I'm going to drink some champagne and make a toast. I'm probably going to go out. I'm going to go out to a nice lounge or bar tonight, and have some champagne, have some absinthe, and have some wonderful company to celebrate these things with. And I hope that you can too, celebrate in your own way, because this is good news. All right, here we go. Let's get JW Suicides. If you haven't checked her channel out, check her channel out, JW Suicides. And she is also JW Suicides on Twitter. She is somebody to look out for and to be subscribed to. I'm going to click alerts so that it will alert me when she has a new video, because she has some good stuff coming out all the time. All right, let me hook this up here. All right. Let's see what happened here. Do I have her? Is it on? All right, here we go.
Thank you for stopping by, and thanks to all the new subscribers and old subscribers and all your comments. I really appreciate it. Now, I thought this article would cheer everyone up, especially those who've been sending off emails or putting a tweet here or sharing something on Facebook, just to show you that it all really helps. So Leah Remini, there she is, and she was took the stage at the Fairmont near my hotel. That was this Thursday afternoon, June the 7th. So she was obviously talking about Scientology and the aftermath, talking about being with A&E, doesn't like BS. Good. So here we go, shining a light on other organisations. So it's still her and Mike Rinder. So, however, the season will also look to investigate other organisations due in part to outreach from viewers. She says, we got tweets, messages on Instagram, Facebook, emails asking us to look into Jehovah's Witnesses, and it was becoming too hard to ignore. Wow. Right now we're doing it as a special, as part of our Aftermath show. But I'm going to hopefully talk to A&E about doing more. So they recognise that there's a lot of stories to be told about Watchtower. And boy, are there a lot of stories to be told. And don't forget that to the witnesses still in, a lot of them were watching this Scientology series. You know, because it's something go, oh, look at that. Oh, what a cult, what a cult. And it's going to be very weird for them that it's turning around now onto Jehovah's Witnesses. So hopefully some of them will accept and have a look. But your voices are not wasted. So keep up the great work. Good, isn't it? Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
So that came from JW Suicides, everyone. Let me get out of the screen here. Wow, is that not exciting or what? Is that not exciting or what? What do you guys think about that? How you love that? Isn't that what Iggy said back in the day? How you love that? All right, Apostle Babe, Linda James in the live chat says, love her voice. Yes, I love JW Suicide's voice and her accent. I'm trying to learn how to expand into different kinds of characters and accents, and I do love listening to her. She's a wonderful, wonderful speaker. We have Gary in the chat. It is very important to deal with my apostate acquaintances in a reasonable, non-Gilbert way. Okay, Gary, this is a non-Gilbert, non-drama live stream. Okay, so you know, let's keep it on the focus of the more important things like Twitter and Leah Remini. Dawn Elizabeth says, I remember Josh Russell. Wait a minute. This screen is starting to scroll pretty fast here. I remember Josh Russell from the earlier live stream. He stated he started on Apostates Anonymous and then you, Bob. Okay. I don't know who Josh Russell is. There's so many new people out there, you know. I'm imagining he's a new XJW or somebody, a new activist. But where are all these new people coming from, folks? It was just like, you know, I go on the YouTube in the morning and it's like a zillion new videos and a zillion new people. And, you know, they're not necessarily newly out. I mean, a lot of these people have been out for 20 and 30 years and just haven't been making videos or talking really, you know, and they're coming out. And it's like, where are all these new people coming from? Is it just me, or is that the case with you too? You can't even keep up with all these cool new people. Mel S says, yes, ABL James, she's probably the sweetest lady and a proper badass. Yes, yes. JW Suicides is very sweet, but I know she's nobody to be messed with. You know, she's a very soft, sweet lady, but she is nobody. You don't want to mess with her. I don't want to mess with her, you know, and I like toe-to-toe confrontation, but no, this is someone I don't even want to mess with. Honest, conscious Dave. Yay, exposure destroying JW credibility, reputability, Watchtower standard for covering up their own criminal transgressions. Victory. Victory. Watchtower can't have it. Na 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 na. And Ghostman in the live chat. How you doing, Ghostman? He says, Bob, would you like to be on that lady's show? On Leah Remini? I don't know. I think I would be open to thinking about it, depending on, how the show would go, what direction, and I would think about it. I'm not a person that hides who I am and what I am or whatever, but I'm also not somebody out there parading it around, you know. And that's with anything. I have a lot of things that I do in career-wise and business-wise, and I don't tell anybody. I don't parade that around, and I prefer to work behind the scenes, because when you work behind the scenes, you're mostly in the management position, or you're managing things, and you can manage your systems. Like if you're self-employed, it's easier to be behind the scenes and have maybe like a receptionist. Like in your office, you have a receptionist in the front line of front people that handle things, the media and public relations and stuff like that, while you can focus on what's important quietly and peacefully, because nobody knows who the heck you are. If you were to, okay, let me give you an analogy. All right, think of a huge, successful, multi-billion-dollar corporation, right? A company, and you walk in and you're trying to find the main key person that can yay or nay whatever negotiation or thing you're presenting, whether you're trying to get a job or you're trying to sell something or whatever, right? And you've got the usual setup, right? You got the receptionist, you got the manager, the supervisor, you got the rank and file employees, you have the vice president, the president, you got the board of directors and all that jazz, right? You got all of this. But the real person in power is the dude mopping the floor and back over there in the corner. So you're coming in, you're looking for the guy in the suit, the big honcho, and you have no idea that the real power is over there mopping the floor, being very inconspicuous, going out of his way to paint a picture of someone who is just a lowly old janitor. And that I've seen that with my own eyes. There are many companies you walk in and you're thinking you're talking to the guy in charge, the owner, the president, because he has the titles, and you have no idea that the real person that actually owns that whole thing, he gave himself a job in the company as just a janitor, or maybe the mail clerk, a lowly person that you wouldn't even think, but that's the way they have it by design, because then they have the peace of mind, and they also have the space to focus on actually running the whole show behind the scenes, you see. So there's a lot of things I personally do as far as financial income and all of that I don't really put out there, but it's for a reason by design, and I prefer to do that. But at the same time, I'm also looking at the fact, as far as like with activism, like I said, I don't shy away from, standing up and speaking up. And if that brings me attention, sure, right? But it's not something I necessarily feel like I have to have. I can take it or leave it. And I would rather leave it 9 times out of 10, because when you do put yourself out there, you have to contend with all kinds of human nature. And you're going to contend with some very negative human natures. And you're going to have people that will hate you and that will sit there and try to figure out how to bring you down simply because you're out there, all right, for various reasons. Some people are just mentally ill, and you just happen to be there in their attention, in their focus, and they fixated on you, and now they're going to project all their shadow on you, and they're going to come after you in some kind of way. And that's anybody. That's just built into being somebody of public visibility. You're going to have people come at you and tell you that they have a baby by you. I had someone email me threatening child support papers when I was in college. I got this email one time, and this lady, it was from a lawyer, and it was from a lawyer, and this lady had alleged that she had a baby by me and that I owed 3 years of child support. And the lawyer was threatening me, and if I didn't pay up a lump sum, I was gonna they were gonna have the sheriff after me. And I literally emailed. This is what I said: "LOL, go fuck yourself. You don't know me." And that's the end of that, you know. So and I wasn't very visible back then. But what I'm saying is, it's just an example. You're gonna have people that will come with all kinds of craziness, and you're going to have to be ready to deal with it. It's just part of the game. You'll have people accuse you of all kinds of nasty things because now you're out there and you're visible. You don't even have to be somebody like Leah Remini. You can be, hell, you can have 20 YouTube followers and you can start being famous to somebody. It's not about the number of followers or how much star quality you actually have, but it's how other people might start seeing you. So that's just part of it, and I'd rather not deal with that. On the flip side, I will say this: this organization is evil. I mean, it's not just like you can say every organization has child abuse. No, these folks have special rules in place to not just permit child abuse, but to protect the abusers. These folks go out of their way to hurt people. I mean, every other church that has been grilled and fried by the Australian Royal Commission has backtracked and at least made it seem like they tried to do a little bit better. But the Jehovah's Witnesses have dug in their heels. And then right behind the protest, the Warwick protest, which brought W5, Canada's version of 60 Minutes. This is a major network television thing for Canada. W5 with Avery Haynes. They went in there and protested with major Canadian network television. This stuff is going to be international. W5 didn't stay in Canada. That stuff wasn't like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. No, sweet cheeks. This thing went from Canada to the U.S. to Germany to Switzerland. I'm naming countries where people came back and told me. I had an activist from Canada who's doing activism against the universalist churches for child abuse. Message me in my Twitter and send me the link to W5 asking me, have I seen it? And this person isn't XJW. He's non-JW. So even after all of that, Watchtower made that little video with Gary Bro, or whatever the hell his name is. Another ugly pedophile enabler to me. They're all ugly. All right. Saying we will never change the 2-witness rule. So these people go out of their way to hurt people. And they don't just hurt people, they hurt women and children. They shun little kids that come out and beg for help because they're being beaten, molested. They shunned me. I know they shunned you. If you're one of those people that was molested and you went to the elders and you were shunned, you know what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of you out there. There's a lot of us out here. Okay, it's a lot of them listening that will never ever come out and say anything. But you know what I'm talking about. This is an evil organization. So in that sense, I say I have a responsibility. And maybe, I'm open to the idea of putting myself out there. I will have to deal with people, right? I'll have to deal with trolls and all of that. But if I don't, I might not let myself live it down. It might eat me up to my grave. And I don't want anything eating me up to my grave. I might not be the best at whatever. I might, I don't know if any of what I'm doing is ever going to do any good. I mean, there's people that say, hey, you've helped me and all that. But I always, in the back of my mind, ask myself, is that really true? And you have to keep that objective view. No matter if you have millions of people telling you what you're doing is good and what you're doing is helping them, you have to always remember to stay objective and keep asking and challenging yourself on what you're doing. And you're never, ever going to get a solid answer if you're doing it with authenticity. And when you start taking it and saying, oh, what I'm doing is working and that's final, then, it can get into a culty area. It can get into drinking your own Kool-Aid. And that's the thing I'm most afraid of. I don't want to drink my own Kool-Aid. It doesn't mean that I may not have already done it. I realize I'm imperfect. And what I do I might fall short every day, but I'm out here trying my very, 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 very best. I put my all into this because I feel like what I've went through, I might not be able to stop the whole world from ever doing it before I die. But I think I might can have a smidgen of a tiny fraction, a subatomic fraction of a hand in changing this and making child abuse go away for good, not just child abuse, but cults in our human consciousness in our society at some point in the future. I don't know how far in the future that would be, because I think we all have a lot of work to do. And some days I lose hope of it. I lose hope of things ever changing. But, at least I can say that I tried this life that I've lived. I tried my very best. And I put myself out there. I've had people send me cease and desist and threatening legal letters and threatening police things and threatening to come get me. I've had people just try to hurt me in all kinds of other ways. And at the end of my days, when I die, I want to be able to say to myself, at least I tried my very best. I used all of my talents and skills. I worked hard every day in my life to try and sharpen myself, whether it's through speaking, through writing, through communication, through people skills, through dieting, through exercise, trying to stay healthy, through trying to rest, through trying to make more money, whatever it is. At least I did that. Now, whether I succeeded or failed, that'll be another story. But at least I did that, because the worst thing you can do is to die with regret. That's the worst thing you can do. And there are a lot of people dying with regret. And there's a lot of people living with regret. And, you can't get rid of that. That stuff will eat you up. And that's just something I don't want. So, I'm open to it. If it has to be that way, if Leah Remini or the producers or whatever asked me on the show and I felt that would be something that would help, then I would do it. I would put myself out there, and I actually have a show idea for Leah Remini. I don't know if you guys know or remember Tracy Ullman, but Tracy Ullman was an HBO comedy special, and that's where The Simpsons started. And I have this show idea similar to Tracy Ullman, but this would be a Jehovah's Witness exposed Watchtower series. Okay, and you would be dealing with the heavy duty topics like the child molestation, but in between you would have these 2 minute or 5 minute segments of a cartoon character, Sister Billy Bertha May Smith, the crazy Jehovah Witness lady. And it would be like a type of comedy relief for not just the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses watching, but for the public, the whole TV network audience watching. And it could be an introduction to a kind of a show like similar to The Simpsons, in the sense that it started with another show like Tracy Ullman, but very, very different, a whole new unique flavor, in that it would be a comedy show that can teach people about cults, and you're laughing while you're learning type of thing. So I have that idea in the back of my head, and of course I would do the voiceover, and I would draw up the cartoons. I've got some cartoon images of Sister Billy Bertha May Smith and all of that. So I don't know, it's just an idea I had floating around here and there. Ghost Man got me started on that question there. Ghostman said, Bob, would you like to be on that ladies show? So good question, Ghostman. All right, let me scroll down because I know a lot of people have had a lot to say since I've been talking. All right, let me see. I'm going to scroll down here. Kim Jackson says she's new, 2 years out. All right, well, congrats, Kim Jackson. What made you leave? What was the last straw? Honest Conscience Dave says Bob's describing Bethel. Steve let Tony Morris mop floors and get on their hands and knees cleaning with comment, don't they? Something Found says I prefer the visual with their comment and their tongues, Dave. All right, let's scroll down here. Ghostman JWism is evil. Honest Conscience Dave says SF, they are a real piece of work. Reminded me of audits with the CO and elders every 6 months. Scary. Thank God that's beyond my rearview mirror. What are these audits about? What did they do? Southern Boss Lady's up in here. She says, hey, family. Hey, Southern Boss Lady. Where's Sour Blaze Hayes? Sour Blaze Hayes is just tweeting up a storm on Twitter. She got on there yesterday after one of those live streams, and all of a sudden, she just lit up Twitter. I mean, she was hashtagging, she was retweeting, she was digging up info, sending it to me. I'm like, dang, this is a regular queen of Twitter up in here. And I think she said she'd never done Twitter before. This is, she's completely a newbie. So, I think she's having a lot of fun. Oh, Kim Jackson, I thought I saw your tweet. I left. I was drugged and raped. Holy shit, Kim Jackson. Okay, I'm very sorry about that, Kim. Are you the one that tweeted where there was a lady on Twitter that tweeted that she was drugged and raped by an elder, and because there wasn't 2 witnesses, she was made to be blamed for it and told to keep quiet? Was that you? Are you that same person, Kim Jackson? Because there was someone tweeting that 4 elders. Holy shit. Kim Jackson, I want to talk to you. Maybe I can have you on here one day. Why don't you email me at operationultra2015@gmail.com. And if you're comfortable, maybe we can share your story, because that is something that is not being talked about a lot, is that adult women are being raped in the Jehovah's Witness, community by elders. And if there's an allegation of rape on an elder, the adult woman has to produce 2 adult eyewitnesses to prove it if he's an elder. And so it makes it very dangerous for women and children to hang around elders, because they have special rules in place that if that elder were to sexually assault you, you'd pretty much be shit out of luck. Kim Jackson, so Operation Ultra 2015@gmail.com. I would love to maybe talk to you, and what I will do is I will have some ladies here on the live stream, so it won't feel like you're talking to a man about these sensitive things, because I know that that can be a very difficult thing, and it can feel very awkward and uncomfortable. So or you can if you have any friends for support, some ladies that you might want to have there to kind of be a source of support, that we can talk about having them on there too on the show here. Or Apostle Babe Linda James is a great friend of mine. She's very sweet and sensitive, and she's had her own life story about things. So we also have Something Found. Although Something Found, I don't think you've had any sexual abuse, right, Something Found? But anyway, Something Found is also a sweet lady. She's had other types of abuse that she's gone through, as an adult and back as in her childhood, So there's a lot of us here. Mel S has a lot to, offer. There's a lot of folks here, Dawn Elizabeth. So, and even the guys, the fellas like Honest Conscience Dave and other people. Oh yeah, Elizabeth Strickland, another wonderful lady, you know. So I'm open to having you, and maybe we'll talk about it, and we'll have some ladies on here so that it won't seem like you're just talking to a guy, and it, you know, is awkward. So let me see here. Oh, let me see. Honest Conscious Dave says, Bob, when I was a ministerial servant, they assigned me as the account servant picking up the worldwide work funds and other boxes. An account audit was done for congregation funds by the CO every 6 months. Oh, that had to be pretty stressing, you know, because I bet they were always squeezing that wallet just a little harder. Robbie Jones says, so sorry life was so harsh on you, Miss Kim. May the universe bless you better through your travels. 1111. And then Something Found has lots of hearts. Yeah, Kim Jackson, that's 4 elders. God, you know, that's just terrible. That is just yeah, please get in touch, because I think, you know, I thank you for sharing that here in the live stream today, even though, you know, we're talking about the Leah Remini, but it still ties in, you know. There's just so many things that cannot be covered in a 45-minute segment. And adult women getting raped by the Jehovah's Witness men. I've always known and suspected that. I've had people tell me about this in the congregation that I attended. And I've always suspected that there are women in the Jehovah's Witness, and men, because I've talked to some men who've been sexually abused as adult men by other male members, by elders. Remember, it's if an elder gets alleged to sexually rape someone, whether that person is a man or a woman, they still have to prove 2 adult eyewitnesses. But here's what I'm touching on. I suspect that there are many, many adults in the Jehovah's Witness community and in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community that have never come out and spoken about being not only sexually abused as children, but also being sexually abused all the way through their adulthood, even throughout their marriage, and even while having children of their own. I know you're out there, and your voice needs to be heard too. And I think Kim Jackson, maybe we can talk about that, you being a voice for those people, because those are adult men and women that are it's very hard for them to come forward because they're adults, and society has this stigma, well, you're an adult, you could have fought it off. Well, ordinarily that would be true, but when you're under cult influence, that it's you are back regressed and infantilized into a child state and a very codependent state. So you don't have the choices at hand that you would an ordinary adult human being, you know. And this happens not just with the Jehovah's Witnesses, it happens in the entertainment industry a lot too. And you can Google Africa Bambaataa, you can Google some of these artists, these hip-hop artists. It's very rampant in the hip-hop industry, where you'll have male managers just molest the rapper or the artist or the actress or the actor. Their managers and coaches are sexually abusing these adult men and women, making them do things, you know, so that they can keep their fame, so they can keep their job. And that happens quite a bit. That happens quite often. But you know, I'm glad that we're talking about this. Something Found says, and women that have been physically abused by their husband as well, told to be a better wife. Yeah, you know, there's just so many things. But yeah, that's a very common one. You have the elders and the men beating their wives. And once again, you know, there are special rules in place to not only protect that, but to keep that going. The wives are blamed. Well, maybe if you did your wifely duty more, which means if you bent over and had sex more, maybe he wouldn't beat you so much. Or maybe if you cooked meals, or maybe if you were more submissive. Well, what does more submissive mean? It means taking it, being a doormat. Don't talk back. Don't fight back. If he smacks you, just bow your head. You know, him smells you. And then, you know what? It's actually a good thing, because you don't have to be in this wicked system anymore. When you wake up, you're going to be in the new system. So actually, your husband beating you and then killing you to death, he did you a favor. Isn't that a wonderful husband to have? Isn't that how they look at things? Where's Sour Blaze Hayes at? Sour Blaze Hayes. There she is. Hey, Sour Blaze Hayes. Welcome, Sour Blaze Hayes. You have been the Twitter queen of Twitter up in Twitter. I think if Sour Blaze Hayes gets a hold of Leah Remini's Twitter handle, I think Sour Blaze Hayes is going to be up on that show. Robbie Jones says yes. They always blame it on the woman. Yes, Watchtower doesn't like women. You guys know that, right? Watchtower does not like women. Watchtower doesn't really like kids unless it's for the trafficking and the molesting. But Watchtower don't really like kids. Watchtower doesn't really like women, and they don't really like minorities either. Like black people back in the 80s, every black person on the Watchtower magazines was like either a thug or they had a frown on. Now they have black people that are smiling. But in the early ones, they didn't really. It was always something shady that either they had him as a worldly person, or burglar, or some kind of drug. And of course, they early in the early teachings, they did teach that the black person's life was to be submissive and enslaved and to serve the white man, and that anymore they'd be all made white. So it was it's interesting because when you look at Ellen White, no pun intended, from the Seventh-day Adventist cult, she had a special name for people that weren't white. She called other human beings amalgamations. And in Germany, in the Nazi regime, the German word was Untermensch, which means subhuman. So these terms and these ideologies are still within Watchtower. You have they now call the people cattle, and they don't make racial distinctions because it's a little risky in this day and age. But they do project that Untermensch, or that amalgamation tendency, now onto LGBT people and transgender people and apostates, or people that leave, or even faders, people that haven't really said, I don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore. They just kind of disappeared from the scene. Well, now they are evil, and they are the Untermensch, or the amalgamation, or the apostate. It's a different name, but it's always the same game, right? Maggles 2. Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for the. Hold on, who is this? Maggles 2. Hello everyone. Thank you for the tweets that got Leah Remini's attention. Clap, clap, clap. All right. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to this live stream. Yes. Everybody needs to give themselves a pat on the back. If you've been a Twitter person out there, on Instagram, she says she's getting them from Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So I know I haven't been on Instagram doing Leah Remini on there, but I'm now going to get on Instagram. I got to pronounce this right. Instagram, all right? Instagram, and learn that right quick, so I could get in there and talk to Leah Remini over there. And then, I'm going to be talking to some other people too. And I've got some good stuff for you right now, everybody. Let's check something out here. Let me see. Where's my... All right. Here we go. Now, the other day, I did tell you all about reporters looking for XJWs, and I did get a couple of emails asking me about it. So I want to let you know I did get your emails, everyone. I haven't had a chance to email you back, but I'm going to put the info out. I'm going to give you a little bit of info here on this live stream instead of emailing you back with it. So don't think I'm ignoring you, okay? I'm going to email you back when I get to it, but I won't be able to get to it today or tomorrow, so I didn't want to leave you without the info. So let me go ahead. Let me get my notebook, because I had been making a lot of calls, and I did have that interview, And let me see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I think I stored it over here in this folder. Oh no, it was in this one here. Give me just a second here. Oh yeah, here we go. All right. So I want you to take a look at this here. Let me do a screen share. I told you about reporters and journalists looking for XJWs and all that. But before I show you a couple of things, because I'm going to give you some information on a special hub, a special person looking for XJWs. But take a look at this here. There are analytics you can get on different platforms like Twitter, and you can see here our biggest fans this week, and we had three major people that retweeted and clicked like and responded to the tweets on Twitter, to my tweets on Twitter here, you see. And there's special programs you can get. But as you can see, Elizabeth Vargas here is one of the people. And this is an automated thing. I don't manually go in there and do this. I have software program. I told you, I try to automate as much as I can, and I try to utilize the technology because there's only 24 hours in a day. And, you know, I got to have at least 3 or 4 hours of playtime every day. So, you know, I can't always do that, but nonetheless, it's a type of productivity level where you weave things together to where when you're doing one thing, you're actually taking care of 10 other things at the same time. So you can save yourself a lot of time, energy, and attention, and you can preserve your energy. So anyway, this is an automated program, and it will take the people that respond to your tweets the most and announce that once a week. And as you can see, Elizabeth Vargas here at eVargas TV, and it'll show you their reach as well. Okay, it'll show you how deep their reach goes. 334,000 people. Those are her followers. So when she retweets something of yours, all those followers will be seeing that. You see? And then this other one here at Amanda V World. I don't think she's an XJW. But I think I'm not quite sure. Um, I'm not quite sure if she's any kind of religious person, but she has retweeted a lot of XJW stuff for me. You know, a very supportive person. So as you can see, her reach is 16.3K. All right, not too shabby. All right. And this one here at Robin Edgar, this is an activist who is speaking out against the United Universalist Church's child abuse cover-ups. The Universalist Church is very tiny. It's a tiny fringe group. It's nowhere near as big as the Jehovah's Witnesses. So I don't know if he's the only activist there exists. There might be one or two other ones, not sure. But nonetheless, here, as you can see, he has 11.1K reach. And he's been doing this for 20 years. I think he celebrated his 20-year activism anniversary a few days ago. He even had a video with a cake. So check him out if you want to. He's also very supportive. He has retweeted a lot of XJW child abuse stuff onto his followers. He clicks like, he retweets, he responds. He's a very supportive activist. And I've also retweeted some of his stuff against the Universalist Church and just connected that with hashtags to the Jehovah's Witnesses and just put them all in one thing. Okay. So check them out here. They are very, very supportive for the XJW community as far as the exposing the Watchtower child abuse and their dirty secrets. All right. Now that I've shown you that, let me go ahead and show you something else here. Let's see. All right, we have, let me see Now, there's a lot of people looking for XJWs now. This is XJWs Unchained on Twitter, and he says a Pennsylvania politician wants to hear from XJW abuse survivors. All right, and he did a screenshot. It says, "Hi all. I was contacted today by Pamela Odo, an executive assistant for State Representative Mark Rossi. His office wants to talk to XJWs who have survived abuse. You can contact Pamela at 717-783-3290. Hit me up if you have any additional questions." And then somebody said, Nurse Buttercup said, "Pamela is really easy to talk to. The state rep she works for is a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. These people are working for the benefit of survivors of childhood sexual abuse in Pennsylvania as a whole. If anyone can help, I urge them to do so." So I'm going to call Pamela probably Monday or Tuesday, and I'm going to talk to her and tell her my experience. And you're welcome. This is just one person. I'm giving you a name and a number. I've had some requests of people telling me, "Hey, I want to reach out. Give me some names and numbers. Where are these journalists and these reporters and these politicians and these law enforcement people that want to talk to us?" So here you go. And also, while you're at it, go on Twitter and add and follow at XJWs underscored Unchained. Follow this guy. He's a really cool guy. He's got a lot of cool info out there, and he's also he's also been through a lot of abuse as a young one. I'm not sure if it was sexual, but I know there was a lot of emotional and maybe even worse. So also somebody who can understand and relate. But yeah, go ahead and call Pamela, 717-783-3290. Pamela Odo, and she is the executive assistant for State Representative Mark Rossi. I will be contacting her. All right, that's one person there. Let me see. There's another one I want to show you. Let me bring her info up here. Let's see. TV reporter. Her name is Alana. Whoops. Did I get her name right? Alano. Okay, I can't find this woman right now. I don't want to go in my email because it's going to take me a long time to dig her up. And I should have programmed her in my phone. That bugs me now. No, that's her name. Lana. Milano. Bitch. That's so stupid. I don't know why I can't pull her up. All right, anyway, I'll have to move on from that. That's going to bug me all day. Let me try another search here. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me take you to the Reddit thing here. Oh. Okay. Maybe that's not on that forum. Okay. I didn't get this. I should have had this ready for you before I made the live stream. Sorry about that, everyone. But I'll dig out the info a little later. And I promise I'll get you this Milanovic. Her name is Alana Milanovic. I believe that's her last name. And she's an ABC News TV reporter. And I've talked about her before. I think I even gave out the info on her. But anyway, I'll dig up the info for you a little later. But check out that Pennsylvania politician. Also, I want you to contact, or think about at least contacting, the Attorney General of Sussex County, Delaware. Now, this Attorney General isn't really looking for anybody per se, but they did sue Jehovah's Witnesses for covering up child abuse. So this is somebody you can contact, all right? And you can also urge to, you know, take a closer look at the Jehovah's Witnesses. Let them know that they have a pedophile database. I've written to Sussex County. I never get anything back, but that doesn't mean they don't see you. You know, once again, it doesn't mean that just because somebody doesn't write back or respond doesn't mean they don't see you. All right. I've had a district attorney put me on block. They never responded, but they put me on block, and that let me know they've seen my tweets. And when they put me on block, I took a screenshot of that, and then I went ahead and started tweeting to the governor and the senator of that state and everybody higher up above the district attorney. And I said, look, I don't know why this district attorney put me on block, so I figured I'd tweet this to you. Because I think right about now you might want to know. And then I would tweet them about the Leah Remini stuff. And, you know, I think any politician would probably, if they're in their right mind, would thank you for contacting them right about now about the Jehovah's Witnesses, especially the child abuse. Whether it's the senator of New York or the governor of Mississippi or the attorney general of Florida or the assemblyman of Kentucky, well, it doesn't matter. I think any major leader would be very thankful right about now that you're coming to let them know. You're giving them a courtesy heads up, because there's going to be a lot of victims coming out, and they already are coming out in droves. And your police officers and your district attorney are going to have to prosecute these people. And by the way, there's a list. It's not just these people who committed crimes. There's a whole database connected to this. And, you know, if you don't handle this right, there's a lot of media attention coming behind this. You might not see it right now, but it's like an avalanche. You're still far away enough to not notice and feel the subtle vibrations. Your dog's barking, your cat's twirling on the floor real strangely, because they feel the vibrations of this huge avalanche coming. But you're still too wrapped up in your own stuff. And here comes somebody saying, hey, excuse me, Mr. Senator, Mr. District Attorney, but I'm going to give you a courtesy heads up. There's a huge avalanche coming your way. And you're going, you know, this person's going to be very thankful if they are in their right mind, if they have any sense. You know, not everyone's going to be thankful. Some people will put you on block. You know, you just move on. You go up higher in the chain of command. And eventually, somebody's going to do something, like is happening with Leah Remini and A&E. But let me see. This ABC News reported thing is bothering me, because I should have had it ready before the live stream. All right, anyway, let me just move on from that. I'm going to take you to Twitter. We're going to have another Twitter lesson or two. All right. Let's see. All right. Where are we? This is XJW's Unchained Support and Recovery for Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. He seems like a great guy. He's got a lot of cool stuff on his channel, and he's the one that had tweeted that about the Pennsylvania politician. All right, so check him out on Twitter. You can click follow right here on the far right-hand side, and then you're going to get all kinds of other great people that you can check out. Martin Hall, I think he is the father of that news report of the 4-year-old girl being molested, and where they tried to prevent the parents from going to the police. So he's also an XJW, and he's also heavily involved. He's going to be speaking here. Check this out. He says on Tuesday, right here, on Tuesday, June 12th, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be at the Harrisburg State Capitol speaking at a press conference about the JW child abuse policies. State Representative Mark Rossi has invited me. It is time the state of Pennsylvania looks more into all religious practices on how they handle abuse. So, I know Ghostman asked me if I would be on the Leah Remini show. Well, if I call this state representative Monday, and they asked me to go over there and talk, which I don't know if they would. I would entertain that possibility, and stand right alongside Martin Hall and Hall. I don't know how I'm pronouncing his name right, but Martin, stand right alongside him and support him, and also speak out about this. So you can follow him as well and check out his Twitter too here. And I'm going to click heart and retweet. When you retweet, all your followers are going to see it. And this is called a hashtag. You can hashtag things like Jehovah, Watchtower, Jehovah's Witnesses, Jehovah Witnesses, Jehovah Witness. Now take a look at this. These are not the same. Jehovah's Witnesses. So there's two plural. Both words are plural. And then this hashtag here, Jehovah Witnesses. One word, the Jehovah is singular, and then the witnesses word is plural. This is very important when you're hashtagging and when you're search engine optimizing. Some people will put Jehovah's Witnesses. Some people will put Jehovah Witness. Some people will put Jehovah Witnesses, you see. And then some people will put Jehovah Witness separate. So you have to be very keyword. This can be a lot of fun, right? But the trick is to really understand keywords a little bit better, and it's very simple. You're learning it right now. Keywords can come in various permutations and variations, all right? Now we have, I think it was Sour Blaze Hayes that came up with, was it no to witness rule, N2RR, or stop to witness rule, stop 2RR, something like that. She came up with a cool hashtag. So you can create new hashtags and you can create followings. The thing I would recommend, if you're creating new hashtags, then always include that hashtag in your tweets that are relevant to that hashtag, so you can later on take that hashtag and tell somebody, hey, by the way, you want to know more about the Jehovah's Witnesses? Do a Twitter search, N2RR, or whatever short catchy hashtag you create. That way, when that person goes on the Twitter and searches it, you don't have to keep telling them, go look at Candace Condi, go look at W5, go look at this. You can just tell them that hashtag, and since you've already tweeted all these things into that hashtag, you see, then it's very easy for that person to find all of that info that you want to tell them in one fell swoop. You see, it's all about maximum efficiency and maximum productivity. When you're doing one thing, you're taking care of 10 others at the same time. So then when you're done with that one thing, you're pretty much done with the day, hopefully. All right, so there's that tweet. Now, another thing I want to show you here, you can reply to his tweet too, and you can tag other people. I'm going to tag XJW's Unchained, and I'm going to tag JW Suicides. I'm going to tag Elizabeth Drake. Her name is Nefty Keen on Twitter here. And I'm going to tag Bexy Boo. I'm going to tag 411 Big Boss. And then I'm going to say, this is really great that people are seeking XJW survivors, victims and survivors on the political front. Thank you, Mark Razi, for giving us a voice. So not only is Leah Remini doing this, and I'm going to tag Leah Remini because I think she would probably want to know about this, okay? So I'm going to tag Leah Remini. And so when you tag other people together, ordinarily they might not have known about this particular piece of info or this tweet, but now you can tag all kinds of people. You can tag the government, you can tag the FBI, you can tag A&E TV network, which is what I'm about to do here, and I'm going to tag Elizabeth Vargas. She's probably tired of seeing my tweets because I just tweet incessantly. She's probably like, "Well, this Bob Smith just shut up for once." I'm going to tag the FBI. You can tag the FBI, and I'm going to tag. Oh, here's Sarah Blaze Hayes. I'm going to tag her too, and I'm going to tag Donald Trump. I know he doesn't care, but I'm still going to tag him. Okay, so the president now is seeing this tweet. The president is aware. You can make Donald Trump aware. You alone can make the FBI look at your tweet. You can sit there in your recliner while you're watching television, eating your dinner, and you're on your cell phone, and you can do this. They're going to see you. And that's the beautiful thing about living in this day and age, okay? And then now you can click reply, and boom, off it goes. Tweet sent, you see? And I'm going to retweet this. I think I already did retweet it, right? Anyway, it's always good to retweet it. You can't never retweet that one too much, I think, right? And then you can go into your notifications, and here you see Auntie Mary liked your tweet. And you can go to her Twitter page. She's also an activist here. You see, and you can check her out. And then also you can look at people's followers. Look at her followers here on the left-hand side. 7 followers you know. So Twitter lets you know if this person has any other followers in common. And then you can go in here to, I'm going to go into Sarah Blaze's Twitter here and take a look at her. See? And you'll see all her tweets. And you see her doing the hashtag JW for Jehovah's Witness, XJW, Jehovah, Jehovah's Witness, Jehovah's Witnesses, you see. And that was 2 hours ago. And then she's retweeted. What she's done, she's taken this person's tweet right here, Will Enoch, anti-Watchtower Society abusive policies. So he's somebody that's specifically against these abusive policies. And his tweet here, dissension guarantees discipline. JW elders deleted for reporting child abuse to proper authority. Sunday Business Post article 10/29/17. JW survey review. So he, I think he took a tweet from someone else that he retweeted and used the hashtag JW exposed online library. Okay, and then his retweet was now retweeted by M. Raven. All right, which is Sarah Blaze Hayes, and she put the hashtags JW, XJW, Jehovah, Jehovah's Witness, and Jehovah's Witnesses, you see. And then you can go in here, I've already retweeted it, but you can go and retweet her retweet that she retweeted from the other person. So you see how that kind of works? There's a huge avalanche. This is a huge avalanche, and you can have your hand in it and know that it matters. You have some real power behind this. You see, another tweet that she retweeted from another person, shunning kills. See the hashtags JW, XJW, apostate. So right here, she's got some apostate tweets, VAA apparel. Okay, and she retweeted the one from XJW's Unchained. This is a worthy cause. We're telling the world we have a voice. We're everywhere. VAA ad marketing. So he's promoting the vast apostate army. And this person here, for example, she's retweeted his thing. Okay. And she's added hashtags. Okay. And here's the one. End2WR. End the 2-witness rule. This is the tweet here. So what she's done is, she's retweeted a tweet originally from Sister Billy Bertha Mae Smith, that says we will relentlessly out Jeanette Mintz, who instigated and fed off child sexual abuse of her own kid with Jehovah's Witnesses J.W. Org and her pedophile enablers, Daphne Wilhite and Cindy Taylor. And then these are the pictures here, okay? So what Sarah Blaze Hayes has done is she's retweeted that and added the hashtag N2WR, hashtag JW, hashtag XJW, hashtag apostate, hashtag Jehovah, you see? So that's how that goes. Let's see. I think that's about it for today. I mean, there's a lot to learn here, you know, and you can go play around. And if you're completely new, what I started off, when I didn't know anybody on Twitter, I would just put Jehovah up here in the upper right hand corner, the search box. You can just no, not tweet. You can just click search Jehovah, and you're going to find all kinds of tweets and people that tweet on Jehovah. Whoa, what the heck? Okay, this is somebody named Jehovah's Thickness. Okay, I don't know if he's a XJW or Jehovah. I think it's just somebody that named themselves Jehovah's Thickness. But you can scroll down to people, and you're going to find people with the Jehovah theme, whether they're ex-Jehovah or regular Jehovah's Witnesses. So this is the thing, when a Jehovah's Witness comes on here looking for other Jehovah's Witnesses, they're going to see the ex-Jehovah's Witness stuff too. You see, they can't, it's going to come up in the search results because the computer doesn't shun ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, you see. The computer tags ex-JWs with JW in certain ways together. So that's the beauty of social media is that you have to really go out of your way as a Jehovah's Witness not to know these things anymore. You know, you have to like completely stay off the internet, period. Because if you go on the internet, eventually you're going to see this stuff. If you click latest, you're going to see the latest. This one here was tweeted 2 minutes ago. Tulia Malimau with two 6-packs on her profile. She says, praise Jehovah God for his continuous blessing and protection over us. Hashtag content. Okay, now I think this is funny because she's got two packs of beer. Look at this. Not just one, she's got 12 bottles of beer. Nothing but a drunk. Nothing but drinking. And then look at this here with this bad boy on the beach listening to the cracking of waves on the beach all day long is the life. We are going to tweet to her. So Sister Billy Bertha Mae Smith says, you need to be in field service, you lazy Jezebel. What are you doing drinking beer on the beach all day? Shame on you. So I don't know what kind of Jehovah Witness this is here, but she says, enjoy working with colleagues manufacturing a German-based lager in the heart of Polynesia, Samoa. Family and beer completes life. So I don't know what kind of Jehovah's Witness this is, but she does seem to have good taste in beer. But you know, I don't know these Jehovah's Witnesses these days. Look, everything is about beer. Every other tweet is just about this beer here. Where is Jehovah? Where is Jehovah? And then she's over here lusting over the rock. I don't see nothing Jehovah on her thing. And then now she claims over here, praise Jehovah God. Look at this, everybody. This is how Jehovah's Witnesses are. Praise Jehovah God for his continuous blessing and protection over us. Are you kidding me? You have nothing but beer on your Twitter profile. Is there any room? So is there any room for Jehovah H. God? So yeah, I keep it funny. I'm sure she understands. I'm just, messing with her. I mean, if she's a beer drinker, she should be laid back enough to understand that that's a joke. But this one up here, I guess she's trying to find herself a good elder husband. She's tweeting about Jehovah, calls herself Lord have mercy, Jehovah thickness. Wow, really? Wow, these Jehovah's Witnesses are weird. All right, this one over here. How about David, Moses, Noah, blah, blah, other people, biblical characters, adulterous, murder? Who has God used? Blah, blah, blah. So she's preaching, getting her field service time in. Let me see over here. Jasmine McDowell, I'm dramatic, but if you do indeed exist, God, now would be a perfect time to prove it. Jehovah, Buddha, Mike Pence, anybody. So, she could be somebody that you could unwitness to. Watch out for Jehovah's Witnesses. They hide pedophiles and send them to your door. Ask Leah Remini and the show on A&E. I'm going to say watch the show on A&E, Cults and Extreme Beliefs, Season 1, Episode 2 on the Jehovah's. Your jaw will drop. Oh shoot, where'd it go? So yeah, I think I clicked reply on that. So you can go in here and just start talking to people. Now, if you're looking for other XJWs to connect to, you can just put XJW. And maybe you can put X Jehovah, EX Jehovah. You can use that one. And you might be able to find people like that. But one of the best ways you can do it is get some of your friends that are already on Twitter that are XJWs. You can add me on here, Sister Billy Bertha May Smith. And once you do that, once you add one person, Twitter has these spider bots that automatically will send suggestions to you that are relevant of other XJWs in a similar fashion that are doing similar things. So once you have a couple of people as your friends, whether you're following them or they're following you, Twitter will flip suggestions to you that are pretty relevant most of the time. And let me see now. You can also go on photos. And sometimes you can find interesting things as far as photos are concerned. Like this lady here, somebody took a picture of her at the cart. Sometimes you can find interesting stuff depending on your search, So let's see. Let me find a Jehovah Newsweek. You can look up things maybe on that Newsweek leak that they have, some of the pictures here. And, if you're needing pictures or images for whatever reason, you can find different ideas and different images that might be of interest to you. I think this could be a nice meme or something. So this is another thing. You could also click videos, and you can find a lot of videos sometimes. Like this guy here, he has something about the Newsweek video. You can click news, and you can find things on the Jehovah's Witnesses as far as the news on Twitter. By the way, I was not able to get this magazine cover at the local newsstand. They had Bernie Sanders on it. So if you know how to get the Bible Thumpers Newsweek cover for me, let me know, because I am looking for about 6 or 7 copies. Now, Elizabeth Drake here, so you get notifications. And once you click the notifications, you can see a conversation here. And right here, Elizabeth Drake has tagged Billy Bertha May to a tweet from someone else This is Advocate of Truth. And this was from the 20th of May. So this was some weeks back. And you can go into any tweet. You can go into tweets that might be 50 years old. Well, not 50, right? But 5 years old, for example. And you can continue talking about that tweet and that conversation. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how many followers you have or how many followers the other person may necessarily have, because someone else may join your conversation. Anybody can join your convo who has a lot of followers, and that tweet could go viral at any given moment. That's the beauty of Twitter. You never know which one of your tweets may end up going viral. So it can work for or against you. You know, Donald Trump has had a lot of problems because he's just, you know, pretty much tweeted anything that just decided to come out of his mouth. And, you know, it has kind of hurt him a little bit, I think, at least. You know, I think it hasn't been doing a lot of good sometimes. So you have to be careful what you put out on Twitter. But anyway, Advocate of Truth over here, it says, Jehovah's organization isn't perfect, but I challenge anyone to show me another religious organization that teaches Bible truth and whose members show genuine Christ-like love. There is no other hashtag best life ever. So there was 26 people that liked that. And Elizabeth Drake has tagged Billy Bertha May and says, I wonder if he's talking the truth as in the child molestations that are hidden. And then she's hashtag Bob Smith. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and hashtag, I mean, not hashtag, but tag. Should we get the big guns out? Should we go ahead and tag Leah Remini on it? Why not? Shoot. Leah Remini, what do you think about this? That's all I'm going to say right now. You know, I'm not going to start the whole, you know, resource kit thing just yet. But yeah, you can include other people in the convo, and then you can keep that convo going. So let me get off of Twitter and let me check the live chat room. So do you guys think the block is hot or what? Let me look at the chat. Linda Lawton, she says, Linda Lawton in the live chat, welcome. She says, and Nigel Rowley, how you doing? Lacey Dumplin, all right, we've got a lot of new people. We have, how many people watching right now? Let me see. 16 viewers watching right now. Thank you for tuning in. How you doing, Lacey Dumplin? And Nigel Rowley, okay, and anyone else that's new? Mel S says, hashtag Karmageddon. Yes. Sour Blaze Hayes says, hashtag N2W. All right. Mel S says, hashtag cults extreme belief. You see all these Twitter maestros? We're learning, folks. Isn't it fun? All right, Lacey Dumplin says, exactly, Dave. She's been studying with them for 5 years, but actually hasn't been baptized. She's been indoctrinated, brainwashed, and will argue with a stump. Very hard to reach. Yeah, if somebody's arguing with a stump, you got to just let that person, you just got to let them alone. You know, there's nothing you can do. You know, there are people like that. And, you know, I'm very happy when I come across a person like that, because I know I don't have to waste one other second. I just click them out of my life. Click out of my life. Gone. Blocked, ignored, you know, and if it's a physical, real world situation, I walk away. I let the person have their say. I don't have a problem letting someone else have the last word. It does not matter to me who has the last word. I will let a person I will let them have the last word and walk away, and we'll go on with my own business and forget they ever existed. You see, and you know, hopefully they can you know, return the favor and forget I ever existed. But Something Found says, just spend my field service time retweeting folks all day. Yeah, because the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing that. The Jehovah's Witnesses are sitting on their fat, lazy butts. You know, I had to go from door to door as a kid. I had to go rain or shine. My summer vacation was no vacation. I never got a vacation. I had to work and not get paid. I had to work for free all my childhood. And now you see these people sitting on Twitter trolling and counting field service time for trolling chat rooms and YouTube. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? You know, and then the least they could do is click off the porn sites when they're over here preaching to you and me, telling me we're going to be destroyed by Armageddon. The least you could do is click off the midget porn sites, you know? Are you kidding me? You're watching porn and trolling, and you're counting it as field service time. I don't think so. I mean, you know, maybe they buy it, maybe they drink their own Kool-Aid and think they're doing something, but the rest of the world is onto them. XJ Dub, how you doing? XJ Dub says there's actually two vids. One's a review and another's a fresh can from the day. Damn, I've got headphones on, but I can't hear. Well, somebody tell him welcome to the chat and thanks for stopping by. He says, I'm uploading a crash from today, and you are sampled in the opening, Bob. Big fan. Oh, really? Oh, thank you. I can't wait to see it. Let's see. Is it already up, XJ Dub? Let me get to your page. Go to channel. All right, I'm going to go to his channel. Cart Wars. That was a day ago. Okay, so check out XJ Dub. Let me do a thingamajig, a screen share over here. Check out XJ Dub over here. And he's got Cart Wars. He's got a lot of episodes on Cart Wars. So if you enjoy watching cart crashes, like I do, I like to sit back and watch them. You know, he's got a lot of them here. Wow, look at this. He's got a lot here. So, you know, you can check him out. And Cart Wars episode 42, Guess Who's Coming to Worship? Cart Wars 41, Reading a Letter. So yeah, check out XJ Dub. He's got some interesting stuff going on there. All right, I'll be checking that out a little later. Let's see. Honest Conscious Dave says, Lacey, see if she has the Proclaimers book, as that has some might not be printed. Might not, because printed in 1993 with Barbara Anderson's help when she was in Bethel writing department. Okay, XJ Dub says it's coming. It's only about 7 minutes, so it'll be up soon. Okay, so everybody check him out when you get a chance. Like and subscribe to his videos and channel if you want to. And XJ Dub, do you have okay, so he can't hear anything. So let me ask him, does he have a Twitter? So if he has a Twitter, we'll flip up his Twitter page. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on here. There was something else before I was going to leave. I was going to show you something else. Oh, I was going to show you this. This is so shocking, everyone. This is so shocking. If you are in the LA area, or if you know anybody in the LA area, you're going to want to tell them about this. I stepped into, this is really bothersome. This bothers me. It's very disturbing. And when you hear about this, you're going to be enraged and so sad. Okay. But I must show this to you because this is real. If you know anybody in LA County, this is a big deal as far as the child welfare system here. It is on a huge reform. It is on a very, very huge reform. There have been mass criminal charges filed against social workers, child protective service workers, sheriffs, and so forth. And it is all because of this case right here. This case involves a young kid. I'm going to show you his face here. His name is Gabriel. And the reason I'm showing you this is because there are a lot of people that can relate to this case on some level, even though they might not be as extreme. This is little Gabriel here, a sweet little kid. Well, this kid, he was a very good helper to his teacher. His teacher said that he was one of the best students she had. He stayed after school a lot. He helped her staple papers. He helped her with different things to keep the classroom clean. He also tutored other students. He was a very, very smart and very helpful, sweet kid. And every kid had a number. His number was 28. I think she had them numerically sectioned off in her classroom, and he was number 28. And Gabriel's no longer alive, and it is due to his mother and her boyfriend. And this happened here in LA. I just read this yesterday while going into a Starbucks. I went and grabbed the paper, the local paper, and nothing short of evil. Judge sentences mother to life in prison and her boyfriend to death in Gabriel Fernandez's murder case. And you can go read this. You see how big this guy is? He looks like a Mexican Suge Knight. Huge, scary looking guy. Well, his name is Asuro Aguirre, and his girlfriend, Pearl Cynthia Fernandez, the mother of little Gabriel. He was only 8 years old. They got off on beating and torturing him. They had been torturing and beating this child for quite some time. His teacher had called repeatedly Child Protective Services and DHR. There were 6 investigations, yet they never took this child out of the home. He had bruises and welts that he came to school with. He even told the teacher and the CPS workers that the boyfriend was beating him with the metal part of the belt, the metal belt buckle part of the belt. And when I read that, it triggered me because I got beaten by that too. Now, these aren't Jehovah's Witness parents. As far as I know, they're not Jehovah's Witnesses here. But the reason I'm showing you this is because this violence that's going on in the Jehovah's Witnesses, at some point, it has escalated. There are people that are not alive that have been killed, children that have been killed, just like this, with the parents getting off. I'm going to read you a section here about this. This is the mother here. Let me see. The boy's slaying led to the appointment of a child protection czar, a series of child welfare reforms and criminal charges against LA County social workers who, despite 6 investigations into reports of abuse, allowed the boy to stay in the home with his mother and her boyfriend. All right. I'm going to give you some details about this. It says here, this is the teacher. She had repeatedly reported signs of abuse, but still wonders whether she could have done more to help save Gabriel. When the familiar pit returns to her stomach, she bubbles with anger. She thinks of the people convicted of torturing and murdering Gabriel, the boy's mother, Pearl Cynthia Fernandez, and her boyfriend, Isauro Aguirre. Now, it says here, they are evil, Garcia said Thursday in a downtown Los Angeles courtroom as she glared at Fernandez, who sat stone-faced with her hands cuffed on her lap at the defense table. Let me see. Okay, this article doesn't go into what they did, I guess. I'm going to find you. Oh, here it is. It says right here. Pearl has acknowledged her part, the chaplain says, as the mother nodded. Now, it says here, when paramedics arrived at the boy's Palmdale home in May 2013, Gabriel had slipped out of consciousness. He had a fractured skull, broken ribs, burned skin, missing teeth, and BB pellets embedded in his groin. A paramedic would later testify that every inch of the boy's small body had been abused. At Aguirre's trial, Deputy District Attorney Jonathan Hatami told jurors that the defendant had enjoyed tormenting the boy, forcing Gabriel to eat his own vomit and sleep in a cabinet with a sock gagging his mouth. The torture, Hatami said, stemmed from Aguirre's hatred of Gabriel, who he suspected was gay. And look at this guy in orange. That's him right here. He looks like a Mexican Suge Knight, a big, scary-looking dude. Now, there's two things I want to tell you. Number one, this kid was 8 years old. Okay, I don't believe in telling kids that they're gay or straight when they're that young. Okay, because they're still kids. Even if he was gay, so what? But LGBT kids get, a lot of times LGBT kids get a lot more abuse on them by abusive parents. And when you're an LGBT kid in the Jehovah's Witness religion and you have abusive parents, you can imagine, it's unimaginable until you go through it, but you can just imagine that it would be a lot worse. Okay, I don't know if this kid was gay or not. He was too young to be worrying about whether he was gay. He's a freaking kid. But maybe the boyfriend has some gay issues that he was projecting on the little kid, Gabriel. And to the point where he killed him and got off on torturing them. And not just the boyfriend getting off on torturing the Gabriel, but also the mother. The mother also enjoyed torturing her own son. You see, this is why I'm showing you this. Many people don't want to believe that there are parents that exist like this, but I'm here to tell you they do. And there are parents that might not necessarily murder their kids, but that doesn't mean they don't enjoy torturing them. They might torture them enough where they can just inflict pain and fear and misery, but where it doesn't alert the authorities, especially if they can intimidate the child to into silence. And when you've got a whole religious organization, a cult, like the Jehovah's Witnesses with special rules protecting this, then you can see how so many people are in just plain out misery. So many kids. This is why I wanted you to see this. This is some heavy duty stuff. I saw this yesterday and you know, to know that this happens. And this is real. This is here in LA. This is a huge deal with the child welfare system. So I'm definitely going to write the Child Protective Services. I'm going to let them know about the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm going to just have my 2 cents about this particular article. But this is something that you can tweet on your Twitter about. Because not only are you going to make people aware of Jehovah's Witnesses, but you're going to make people aware that this exists. This kid asked for help. The teacher repeatedly called the authorities. The authorities left this kid in this man and this woman's care. Little Gabriel is gone today because of a mother like this. This is his mother. And she admitted that she intended to torture him. She admitted it. She admitted it and had no remorse whatsoever. And they didn't try to hide that they tortured and killed him. So just wanted to show you that. But yeah, it says here, Aguirre, seated at the table third from left Thursday, was sentenced to death for his role in the death of his girlfriend's son, Gabriel Fernandez. His girlfriend, Pearl Cynthia Fernandez, 34, right, was sentenced to life in prison. So because she pled guilty, she got life in prison because the prosecutors were going after, they wanted the death penalty for both of them. Okay, and the only reason she didn't get the death penalty is because she pled guilty. And I guess the boyfriend was not going to plead guilty, so straight to death he goes. And as far as I'm concerned, both of them need to be on the death penalty. Why should my tax dollars pay for her? My tax dollars are going to pay for her ass until she dies. And I don't want to pay for an incubator like that. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys that. What do you think about this? This is pretty troubling, isn't it? This is pretty troubling. It says here, okay, XJ Dub says he doesn't have a Twitter. Sour Blaze Hayes says show Stewart Twitter. Who is Stewart? Who is Stewart? And then Linda Lawton says, yes, Stewart, please join Twitter. I don't know who. Oh, Stewart is XJ Dub. Okay. Lacey Dumplin says, Dave, is that a JW publication? I'm wondering if I can find it on one of the sites that publish their books online, like avoidjw.org. Honest Conscious Dave says, can't wait, Stewart, so we can see more of Alan Lamilt's whiny complaint commentaries. XJ Dub says, JSEC from Sunday video really ripped into me today. I get he's waiting to see if I upload all his trash talk. Of course I will. Okay, I don't know any of these people, but I sense there might be some drama there. All right, Nigel Rowley says the Pacific Northwest cult members of the 21st century are becoming more aggressive. Honest Conscious Dave says, JSEC was an a-hole just the way he scornfully stared at you the other day, almost as bad as Ron Peebles with the stomach punching. And Mel S. says, what the hell, Gabriel Fernandez. Yeah. Gary says, XJW, you remind me of Clint Eastwood in Hang 'em High. I'd call the police if I saw you a mile away, and that's an X. It says here, Lacey Dumplin says, oh no, I'm nowhere near your neck of the woods. I'm way down south, but thank you for that. It's a very kind offer. I'll look online then. Honest Dave, you're in Wisconsin, right? Because I used to live in Milwaukee for a while. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was a little scary for me because it was quite different than LA. It was it wasn't scary. I knew I wasn't going to stay there, but I think it's the kind of place, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've had some folks tell me, once you come to Milwaukee, you'll never leave. It's like a sinkhole. And I said, boy, oh boy, haven't I heard that from somewhere before? And that place was a true sinkhole. So I made sure to make arrangements to get the heck out of Milwaukee after a certain time because I was not going to get stuck in that sinkhole. Whew. I don't know if you've ever lived in different places, but I've lived in almost every continent there is. Europe, I've lived in Asia, I've lived in America. I haven't been to South America yet. And I haven't been to Australia, nor have I been to Africa. But I've lived in different places, in big cities. I've lived in country towns. And I'll tell you, there are places that are true sinkholes. In the Midwest and in the South, you get in there and it's so slow and it just sucks you in. And the longer you're there, the more complacent you get and the more stagnant, and there's nothing really going on. And it's really slow and there's nothing really going on. It's really slow and it just lulls you into this trance of stagnation. And the longer you stay, the stronger that is. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but there are places like that, and that's what scares me. I don't like going to any of those places. Even when I come off the plane, I just can't wait to get back on the plane and fly up out of there. King of Faders is up in the chat. How you doing? King of Faders says XJ Dub is the man asking the carts to leave. Yep, he does, doesn't he? Please leave. Elizabeth Strickland does it too. She tells him to leave too. So yeah. Bob is the view minus the dead air. Hee haws are not entertainment. Cut the Whoopi laugh track. Just add Bob. Yeah, I don't like Whoopi. Whoopi said that some kids asked to be molested or something allegedly. I saw her on one of those shows and she was downplaying the amount of pain that someone that has been molested gets, or she was trying to say that sometimes you know it's not, the kids aren't really molested. It's something weird like that. I don't really know the exact terms, but I know that from that day forward, I completely was done with Whoopi, and I used to love Whoopi Goldberg. So I was completely done with Whoopi Goldberg about that. I was like, oh no, she is soft on the pedophiles. So no, if you're soft on the pedophiles, you are no friend of mine. You are no friend of mine. Elizabeth Strickland in the live chat says, I give them permission to leave. I like that. You have my permission to leave. Yeah, Elizabeth Strickland is really funny with her crashes too. Magos 2 says Bob sounds like Adrian from Down with the Tower. Well, thank you. I consider that an honor. I'm not the same guy, but he is definitely a cool guy. Nigel Rowley says, you wasn't raised by a toothless bearded hag, Gary. Did you have a silver spoon in your mouth? Dang, who was raised by a toothless bearded hag? Wow. Is that what you'd call your mother, Nigel? A toothless bearded hag? Wow. Well, if the shoe fits, wear it. That's what I say. Honest Conscious Dave says, I'm 2 hours away from Milwaukee in central Wisconsin, town of less than 20,000, dairy town, small town, USA. After being born and raised in Chicago and suburbs 40 plus years, Milwaukee has bad spots indeed. Oh, tell me about it. But I do like the beer over there in Milwaukee. They have some delicious, delicious breweries out in Milwaukee. I'm telling you. And there's a German sector there. It's funny because some of those old German people, they have a little bit of they have quirks, I guess, and sometimes they would I remember this lady just grabbed my card at the grocery store. I mean, she saw me right there putting my groceries in it. Why she decided that she was going to grab my cart and start grocery shopping with my cart and just throw my stuff out, I don't know, but I very loudly said, excuse me, I know you see this is my cart. Why are you taking my groceries out? And every head in the whole store turned my direction. And that was pretty embarrassing for her. So she moved on very quickly. But I was like, no. And she returned, she had this rebuttal, this snazzy rebuttal with a German accent, telling me, oh, I'm sorry. And so I realized, okay, this is a German lady, right? So I speak in German to her and let her know that was not appropriate. And her eyes went wide because she's probably thinking I'm some Mexican that doesn't know English and is probably, some non-English speaking immigrant. Because that's based over there. If you're Hispanic or if you're Mexican or, I mean, I'm half Puerto Rican, so I'm not Mexican, but to them, I may as well be Mexican. To them, it's all the same. But I guess she thought I was like some, border Mexican who didn't know English, and here I am speaking fluent German and much better than her because she couldn't understand half of what I was saying to her. And like I said, she had to go ahead and walk on by. But yeah, that was a funny experience. And then there was another one. The grocery store I went into, this one grocery store was predominantly African American. And I guess, I don't know, I think Milwaukee has this racial thing going with people. If you're not black or if you're not white, you're pretty much screwed. If you're Asian or Hispanic or a mixture of Hispanic and German or something like that, and you don't look the blonde, blue-eyed typical, you're pretty much effed because the black folks kind of treat you weird, and then the white people also treat you weird, and there's not that many, non non-white or non-black people, so You're pretty much screwed in Milwaukee if you're Hispanic. Yeah, my father was Puerto Rican. I never got to have my heritage growing up. I was not allowed to speak Spanish at home. I was forbidden by the incubator. I guess it reminded her of my father or something. And I remember being about 9 years old during one of those bad beatings, and the step telling me to call him dad, and I refused to call him dad. But he was beating me so bad, I called him dead. So he thought I was calling him dad. I called him dead, but I refused to ever call him dad. I called him dead. Um, a couple of times during a beating, but after that beating was over, I never said nothing. I didn't even call his name. If I had to talk to him, which I would go out of my way not to, not even being in the same room, but if I had to say anything to it, I would be to him. I would say, "Hey, you." And one time he even smacked me for saying, "Hey, you." He's like, "You call me by my name or you call me dad." So then I just would go out of my way not to say anything to him because I was not going to call him dad. I don't care if he had to kill me. I was not going to call him dad. I'd call him dead, but I wouldn't call him dad. But yeah, I was not allowed to speak Spanish. I was not allowed to pursue that part of my heritage while living at home. I could speak German. That was what we spoke at home was German. But I wasn't allowed to have anything to do with my father or anything like that. So Milwaukee is highly segregated. Yeah. Tell me about it. I was like, what? And then to me, these people aren't really German. Look, you've been in America. You're like third generation American. Yeah, yeah, you got this German stuff here in Milwaukee, but it's not real German. To me, you're not real German until you're from Germany, born and raised there, and you don't speak the language. How are you going to claim German and you don't even know the first thing about German language? That to me, that's a fake. I'm going to want to speak German with you. Kannst du Deutsch mit mir sprechen? Weil ich glaube gar nicht, dass du richtig Deutsch bist. Ich meine, du bist hier in Amerika seit wie vielen Jahren? 20, 30 Jahre, bist hier geboren und aufgewachsen und dann denkst du, du bist eine Deutsche oder ein Deutscher? Nee, ganz und gar nicht. No, I don't believe it. It's not true. Fake news. Mel S says, I'm Eurotrash. Well, I wouldn't call myself Eurotrash. I mean, I'm European. I was born and raised in Europe. Part of my life I was raised there, but I wouldn't call it trash. Elizabeth says, Elizabeth says, I don't call my father dad either. He's a felon and doesn't deserve the term. Well, the step person wanted me to call him dad, but he was never a dad to me. He was never a fatherly person. And I'll tell you, by the time I reached about 9 or 10, I couldn't explain it as a kid, but it was like I had surpassed him in some way that I couldn't explain. And now I realize he was emotionally stunted. Narcissists, they're stunted emotionally. They're at a kid's level. So if they have kids, sometimes the kids will surpass the emotional level of the narcissistic adult. And in this case, I realized he also must be a little bit mentally slow because I remember getting smacked in the face for being a smartass. And he had asked me, I guess he was looking for a way to just beat on me. So he had called me out of my room, he in the incubator, and he all of a sudden he was interested in my homework. Never cared two craps about my homework or my school, other than if I had a bad grade, it was time to beat me. Then he was like, "Oh, goody, time to beat this kid." Another excuse, but to really care about my schoolwork for the sake of making sure that this kid learns and has a good education, nah. So anyway, he wanted to know what I was doing for my homework, and I had a D in one of my grades, and he was acting like he was all angry about that. And, I could just tell he was going to get me. He was going to beat me. This was just another reason for him to beat me. So I started explaining some of my homework, and I was working on chemical equations. And so I tried explaining to him about the chemical equations that I'm working on. I didn't know this man would translate that as me trying to be a smart ass or trying to show him up, or, he got in my face and said, "You must think I'm stupid." And before I could say no, I mean, I was shocked. I was confused. I was trying to explain to him what I was working on. Here comes another fist in my mouth. So after that, I realized that he was intimidated by my intelligence as a kid. I mean, I was just doing my schoolwork. I mean, I can't help that he never had an education or whatever. But that's when I realized that, he's basically just looking for any reason to just beat me. So, best thing to do is just say okay to whatever he says and don't volunteer anything else, and try to get up out of his face and not even be around, so he won't even have anything to say to you, And yeah, but you start realizing at some point that there is like an emotional surpassing as you get older. And now that I'm an adult, I realize why those things happened, but as a kid, you're just confused because, you try to explain, you try to do what they tell you, you try to explain that you're doing your homework and this is what you're working on. And then all of a sudden you get punished for working on the homework that they initially called you in about working on. So, yeah. All right, Dawn Elizabeth. Elizabeth Strickland says, "I'm purebred bitch." JW Suicide says, "Quick pop in. I put a vid that Leah was influenced by our messages in campaigning." Yeah, JW Suicides, we showed you a vid at the beginning of this live stream. In fact, you might have some new subscribers and visitors to your channel because we put you on the TV screen out here. Yep, we sure did do a segment on you. Honest Conscious Dave says Milwaukee has a suburbs named Germantown. Milwaukee's north side got destroyed by manufacturing job losses, and then gangs and drugs. Larry Hoover and gangster disciples took over north side Milwaukee. Do you know where West Brown Deer Road is? Because that was around that area where I was living at the time. West Brown Deer Road out there. They closed that Target out there. Back then they had the Target. They had Aldi. And then I used to go out to that other place where they have the brewery. But I love me some Leinenkugels. Man, they're good. All right, so Something Found says, yeah, that's the northwest side, Bob. Yeah. A guy out there was going to sell me a van, but I think that van was a big lemon. Supposedly he was a mechanic and really knew that was a good car, but when I took a look at that thing, I was like, you're really trying to sell me this? And he's like, oh, you can just, you just need to work on it a little bit and you can handle it. And yeah, sure. Love to all. JW Suicide says, love to all. Something Found says I was a South Side girl. I tell you, these Milwaukee winters, there's something else. Wow. Just like Germany. One thing about Milwaukee, the winter was a real winter to me. There was real snow because out here in Cali, LA, we don't never get no damn snow. And we didn't get no snow in Alabama neither. And we never got snow in the other places, except for when I lived in Germany. Then we had snow. All right, 26 people watching. We are talking about Leah Remini and the Twitter messages. All right. Leah Remini is seeing our Twitter messages, everybody. She is responding. Keep doing what you're doing. Good work, everyone. You ought to give yourselves a pat on the back. I'm going to give everybody a clap. You are doing excellent. So keep up the good work. Ladies, we have a couple of ladies that are going to come on the channel maybe sometime soon and talk about the adults that get abused in certain ways. But, I do want to let you know the block is hot. The block is really hot. Watchtower, if you're listening, you're dead. You're dead meat. There's a lot of people you have hurt. There's a lot of people mad as hell. And Bashers, Daphne and Cindy and Jeanette Mintz and Zeb Henry, The block is hot. You're done for. You're done for. And we are eating our popcorns. Isn't it a great time to be alive, everyone? It's a really, really awesome time to be alive. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for their activism, for all the good work you're doing. If you haven't checked out Twitter yet, I would encourage you to take a gander at it. All right. Down with the Tower. How you doing? Down with the Tower is in the live chat. Down with the Tower, we've missed you. Down with the Tower has a great channel too. Something Found, Down with the Tower, Nigel Rowley, Mel S., Linda Lawton. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Honest Conscious Dave, Lacey Dumplin, JW Suicides, Dawn Elizabeth, Lacey Dumplin, let me see, Something Found, Mel S., XJ Dub. The block is hot, everybody. And, you know, Leah Remini, hit her up on Twitter. All right, I'm going to try and get out of here. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. All right.